One day before Trump's inauguration, Elon Musk, the American billionaire and famous businessman, engaged. He gave a speech at a university from Trump supporters, and we know, of course, that Musk was one of the strongest supporters of Trump in his election campaign. And of course, he also got a position in the government, in Trump's next government, word for word. I am grateful to the supporters for their backing. The word had nothing in it, meaning strange. But the strange was at the end of the word when the audience greeted the audience in Hitler's way, which is the situation, the hand on the heart, then what was the salute that they were greeting Hitler with. Hitler means putting the hand at least, then raising the hand up at an angle with the fingers and palm clasped together. It will be the bottom. And even though they say they don't do the salute, they say the word massive hit roll Hitler. You mean Yahya Hitler? He did the salute twice in a confrontation, standing on a circular platform addressing audiences both in front and behind him. The audience saluted back, but while those in front returned alive, the back audience saluted the same way. Truly, this gesture was eye-catching and raises questions on its reasons. This salute functions as a pariah gesture, widely hated in Western circles. What did she do before we said it? We will talk about the roots of this greeting. Where did the greeting come from? They say that its origin is inspired by the Roman Empire, and that the Tsars lived with this style. The military salute in this form and this description, and the Italian Fascist Party was the first to adopt this style. This greeting and speech was in the year 1919, a fascist party, meaning a racist, nationalist fascist party, which is nationalism, racism, of course, in many details that are not important to go into now. Later, in 1923, the Nazi Party in Germany adopted the salute and was collaborating with the fascist party in Italy. In 1926, this salute became mandatory in the Nazi Party. It was addressed to Adolf Hitler, who was the head of the Nazi Party. The salute is now a legal violation in Germany and Austria. In some countries, it is considered a crime, such as in Poland, such as in Slovakia or in Italy. It is considered a crime if you do this salute because it brings back the minds to the banned Nazi Party or the Fascist Party. What is prohibited in America, in Britain, in Canada, in other countries is not considered a crime or legal violation, but it is considered hate speech. It is also not required, but the law does not blame him. So when he did it, there is no legal reprimand against him. In America for this topic, why? Some people greeted with this image, or he himself said, "I don't mean anything, and this is a dirty attempt to distort me, and I have nothing to do with Hitler or Hitler's approaches." And they paid him, meaning a lot and some. Even Jewish institutions pushed him. I mean, some Jewish institutions like the Americans Against Anti-Semitism Foundation said that he was a friend of the Jews. And he didn't mean to insult the Jews because, of course, Nazism. They tortured the Jews and worked with them on the Hill Coast issue and the Storydefa. The word integrity for the Jews is a word that means very strongly, so they say, no, this is not Nazi behavior and this does not mean this topic, and it was out of excessive enthusiasm that this show was made, but I am telling the truth, these things are not random because the greeting is difficult, meaning it is not just a greeting, such as with the face, the mind, or the tongue, so I came up with something other than what I meant. No, this has a specific appearance and a specific shape, and I did not do it once, I do it twice. It is evident this is the topic he refers to, as noted by Congress members like Jerry Nadler. He objected to this matter and wrote on his blog on XN that he did not imagine that one day there would be a Nazi salute in America, and he is, by the way, a Democrat, and he is Jewish, so it may mean that his testimony is a little wounded because he is certainly against Musk and against Trump, but I mean the issue caught people's attention to a great extent. Why did he do that? Musk. The truth is, I don't think he did this out of spite for the Jews. I mean, not for the sake of the Jew. He could actually be a friend of the Jews. But I see that behind this issue, something that can be a need of three things or three of these things together or something else, but there is an intention to this matter. The first need that I see in this greeting is that he wants to consolidate the Nazi approach. The Nazi approach does not have to be he belongs to a Nazi party or has no not Nazi thought. What is Nazi thought? Is Nazism rooted in nationalist racism? The idea of national racism, the Nazis make a pyramid for people, the whole earth is the top. This pyramid is the Aryan Germanic element from which they are Germany. I mean, this is the top of the pyramid, and after that they say that the peoples who are a little inferior to us are a people of this or that for the peoples closest to them, not the peoples of Britain and the peoples of the United States. Those in northern Scandinavia, this region, say that countries are close to us in race. And proportions, if they mean EE close to us in honor, they are below them along in the ranking. After that, the pyramid begins to expand. Expands why? They classified all the peoples of the world until they came to the base of the pyramid from under the Roma, Jews and Russians. They said, what is it? The fewest people in this pyramid. That's why they are the Nazi element, this Aryan Germanic element that is purely above, enslaves those below who have no problem being harmed or insulting him or killing him. He doesn't even have a problem. He sees that this means the least to the peoples of the earth. The value of the Nazi idea of national racism, that I have a certain shape, a certain race, or a certain color, is the one who owes honor and owes value. The truth is, this view is Trump's view and Musk's view of things, and Trump stated this very strongly. Perhaps this is one of the reasons for the compatibility between the two religions, even though Musk was originally an opponent of Trump in his first term. But they are now very close to each other in a very noticeable way. And supporting him in more than one way of support, Musk supports Trump in more than one way of support. Trump has spoken on many occasions about racism, and he specifically declared that he means the people who represent the true identity of the American people are the whites in America. B said this as a statement. Of course, this may be something that is not denounced in Western circles now, with so much talk about human equality and neglect of the issue of color and race. But what I have many people say is not applied on the ground, and this is from. Among them, Trump says that he means the white race is higher than. From other races, and from this vision comes many decisions that he makes. I mean, you can look at all immigration decisions from this perspective and look at their comments on other peoples. He makes a lot of mockery of other peoples, even if they mean other peoples. Rich or not, the significance of white supremacy remains the basis. Thus, he remains considered a second, third, or 10th degree in his evaluations. And he may also take from it the law that he wants to support, which Congress is still opposed to until now, and the courts are opposed to, which is the law not to give citizenship by birth in America, on American soil in America. He takes American citizenship. He wants to oppose this law because it is possible for anyone to be born of any color. He does not want that. He wants the American race to be pure white. This description is based on the idea of describing Nazism. The idea of Nazism was previously described by Trump Biden himself. This means describing Trump in this capacity in a speech to me on 1-5-2024 AD. He described the Trumbo and Trump's approach as being very similar to the approach of Nazism. And this issue is supported by the fact that Musk himself supports this idea. The idea of racism in different countries among the countries in which he supports this idea. Germany supports a party there called the Alternative for Germany Party. This is an extreme right-wing party, and it is originally opposed to the government. And the government has many problems with this party and supports it because it looks at it. This issue of immigration is a bleak view, exactly like Trump's view. He does not want anyone to immigrate to Germany, and he is one of its parties, on the anti-Islamic idea that is the alternative for the German. He supports it greatly and holds meetings with the president of this country. The party, as well as supporting the Reform Party in Britain, is also a far-right anti-immigration party. This ultimately supports the notion that Trump and Musk endorse the idea of Nazism and racism through this salute. The second necessity is to establish a dictatorship, emphasizing a sole opinion akin to Hitler's regime and its surrounding views. Trump's remarks on numerous issues and his denial of the previous elections, along with his supporters storming Congress on January 6th, reflect this clearly. 2021, the results that were against Biden and Biden were only in the first place. He threatened in the last elections with blood if he lost the elections, and he refused to. for most of the decisions or directions that remain contrary to his opinion, and for him to cancel a large number of Biden's decisions, the first time the ruling held about 78 executive orders for Biden to cancel them in a pen jar, unity, and even showing personality, admiration for dictatorial figures in the world, like admiration for the president of North Korea, admiration for the president of China, and also admiration for the president of Russia, Putin. The third and final reason for this greeting is driven by ambition. Trump is building an empire like that being Hitler being with military forces or military trends. And he did not have any respect for borders. He was entering any country around him that he could enter and expand, whether it was in the East or in the West, whether it was Poland or France or Russia. He did not have a problem that he is afraid in any country expands his space, as well as Trump has this expansionist approach if he uses the economic method, not the military method. These are the three reasons. I expect that Musk made this greeting. He cannot speak in these Western circles and in this modern era with these laws in which we live. He cannot say that we are racists. He cannot say that we are dictators. He cannot say that we do not respect the borders of others and we are expanding in this country. Work, replace, all these. Difficult words in these circles, and the work of this greeting, the date greeting, which is Hitler's greeting, the message reached the people who want to understand the message, understand it and walk with it on the road, and those who oppose it will not find much to say. They say direct attacks B. He can withdraw from the topic in a simple or easy way as he did. Now this talk is very important to us. Whoever has a background about the way of thinking of the person in front of you can expect this. With this background, his way of managing matters after that, and Kazab makes decisions and how he proceeds. Implement what he says. In his dealings with different peoples, we ask God Almighty to teach us what will benefit us. May we benefit from our understanding of His guardianship and capability. May God's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you.